Debate, live and after show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they live or are premiering. There's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout of thanks and appreciation to Smith Tools and Purchase, Level Plain Poem, Vitali Z, Colton James, BG, Survive the Spin, FE Patriot, Thomas van der Zander, Measured Flat, Chris Wouters, Sea Level Cultist, Mitch Kennedy, Rod, The Name is Burley, Twad Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, J Mel's 24, Unimento, Iron 26, Endless, Goldie McKinnon, Retro Bill, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Del West Watson, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Texas Mike, Chow Young Cat, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcomed back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Chocolate Saiyan, Adam, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
How are you?
I'm alright.
Morning.
I had a glitchy computer, I had all the show set up. That's why there's been no pre-show. So I'm moving things around and everything seems to be going okay. And I'm like, right, I'll do my intro. I've got my lights on, ready to go. And I'm like, that box isn't quite lined up. I'll just move that box. This is with the intro rolling for my recording. And you know when you get like boxes that don't disappear, they stay on screen for a second. And you're like, ghosting, I think they call it. I'm like, no, that's not right. I'm going to restart the computer. So then I did. So I took the 20 minutes or whatever it is to set back up again just on the computer. That's what I've just done. So me launching into a live and pre-show intro, I think that's the first time I've ever done that, a full live and pre-show intro at the beginning of the live show. That is to say, I've pressed the record button and the live button at the exact same time, and everything is, for the first time ever, genuinely uncut. Like there's no pausing while I set other things up, like the live show, etc, etc. So for the first time, in the truest sense of the word, this is a truly uncut show. How are you, Neil?
Doing good. I got a job interview today in Harrods. I got to catch a flight, though.
Okay, so in yesterday's show, they were talking, I can't remember why Harrods came up, and I'm like, are you suggesting this example because you know that at one stage I worked in Harrods? And they're like, no, I didn't know you worked in Harrods. And I'm like, well, I worked in Harrods because they were my customer, and therefore to support them, I wanted to be on the shop floor for an event. But that meant I actually had to go through the process of effectively becoming a Harrods employee and going through all the criminal record bureau checks. Good job I'm not a criminal, because when they put me through the process, they're quite vigilant in terms of making sure the people who are on their shop floor potentially dealing with their customers are entirely criminally record bureau checked and vetted and all the rest of those things. And me just being a rep selling to them, in other words, putting a product on their shop floor that they were purchasing from me, meant that to be there, like I say, I had to go through the same process and faff that your average, I don't know, I'll say average because they're definitely not based on what I'm saying, but your shop floor staff in Harrods would have to go through. So what a faff that was. Didn't make any difference. One of the managers that I dealt with personally to put my product onto his shop floor ended up getting the sack because he was selling giant TVs out the back door of Harrods. You're like, this guy he was fully accredited in the army and stuff. He was like so squeaky clean it was untrue, and it didn't change the fact that he was still backdooring massive tellies out of Harrods, like out the back of the warehouse. And he had the full-on rows. They're like, the guys that were quite high up in terms of managing the shop floor specifically would wear a red rose as they walked around the shop floor You're like, what does that red rose mean? It's like, well, he's somebody who's actually in charge and can make things happen on the shop floor, like instantly if something happens. In other words, it's important. Well, he was one of them, this guy that I was selling to, effectively. I won't name his name. But there we go, this guy who wore a rose in Harrods was still sacked for being dodgy as all hell. He would have been through the CRB check just like I was. So working in Harrods doesn't necessarily mean you're not a dodgy sod. But we were
What's weird about that?
What?
I'll tell you why. I worked in freaking police departments where you had to get background checked. I was with a company, and I cleared them like it was no problem. So this is very strange to me, how some things you clear and some things you don't.
It depends on the seriousness. So I had to put various different applicants when I was a recruitment consultant through CRB checks, because one of the customers of mine was the prison service. So I was supplying staff to the prison service, and in order to fulfil the contract for temporary staff who I would manage, I had to put my staff through CRB checks so that they were legitimately okay to be in a prison. And they were much higher level and more expensive, for that matter, CRB checks. In other words, they were far more fussy about how the check was done. I wasn't running the checks, so I couldn't tell you what they were doing, but I do know that it was Brook Street Recruitment that I was working for at the time, were putting staff into the prison service. They were a lot more fussy about who we put in and how we were checking them. So there you go.
What are we going to do today?
Talk about previous jobs. Do what we're doing right now. If you're watching and you didn't know, Earth is measured flat. If you're a globe believer, your belief in a globe also requires Earth be measured flat. Now, those facts are normally delivered alongside quite a lot of disdain for the general Joe normie turned anti-flat earther who would tell me I'm an idiot for appreciating that your belief in a globe requires my understanding that Earth will be and is measured flat. Doesn't mean that you have to pour scorn on me as an individual. I make very little difference to your life, but for the fact that you've involved yourself in what I say, which is that Earth factually is just measured flat. I say just, because it's true for everyone. It's not like you can get away from it. Yeah, it's just flat if you want to believe you're on a ball. It's just flat if you want to say you're a flat earther, regardless of how much you want to turn that into a belief in something if you're a flat earther, because very few flat earthers appreciate these facts, believe it or not. But there you go, we've dispensed with the facts in the matter about the flat earth debate. There isn't one. Earth is measured flat. The perception of being a debate is something that is quite beneficial to the belief of being on when you measure Earth flat and then put it in a sphere. Beyond that, we've got housekeeping questions. I could ask a couple of them. Any evidence you can have gas pressure without a container to press upon?
Do you mean gas pressure or pressurized gas?
They're the same thing. Gas at pressure, pressurized gas, gas pressure. It's all the same thing.
Well, the ballers don't get it because they still think there's a difference between the two.
Okay, the only person I ever remember suggesting that there was a difference between pressurized gas and gas pressure was conspiracy cats. Quote, conspiracy cats.
Yeah, but the regular skank and file, they regurgitate that. I've heard some people in chat say it. You're talking about gas pressure. No, you're speaking about pressurized gas. There's a difference. I mean, do they think what they say before they say it?
I'm not saying anything. I'm asking for evidence it can have pressurized gas without containment. I'm asking. Is there any evidence?
Do they ever?
Yeah, chocolate.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, but when they say there is a difference, do they ever say what the difference is, or do they just stop there? That's my question.
Negative. They just say there's a difference. Pressurized means gas at pressure, and gas pressure means pressurized gas. I guess. I'm trying to think for them.
So you're telling me there's a difference. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm asking because there's a belief in place that there's a sky vacuum. So, based on the current Western world belief that there's a vacuum for a sky that's above everyone's head, then I would need evidence that there's a way of sustaining gas pressure without containment. Hence my question.
Well, again, this is not an us problem. This is a them problem because
Exactly.
it's just like the elevation angle, right? It's defined as using a horizontal plane. Well, gas pressure is defined as the force the gas exerts on the walls of the container. So their pain has come with or come from having to explain that without the container all these years. So hence that's where the nonsense of, oh, well, there's a difference between pressurized gas and gas pressure. Sure there is. What is it?
Well, they appeal to NASA with other things, but when you hold NASA up as a hostile witness to what the definition of gas pressure is, they ignore it.
Oh, another them problem. So go to your boys in NASA and go ask them, how do you define in your little documents gas pressure as being the force the gas exerts on the walls of the container, while showing us that we have no container while living on a magical spinning water ball. Go and do that. That's a them problem, not us. So again, you guys have problems with your own paradigm, not us. We're just the
Gravity.
ones putting this shit out. Sorry.
Gravity.
You ain't talking to me, Chocolate.
What is it?
I'm saying he's talking to you.
I said gravity. Prove me wrong.
Well, you haven't proved anything. You've just said a word in response to Chocolate.
Yeah, my rebuttal is gravity keeps the gas pressure in the spherical Earth that we live in. We all know Earth's a sphere.
Is that what they named the container? Gravity? What is that? Because they just said they don't need a container. So now they've invoked a container? That's weird. You just said you didn't need one.
Next.
Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
How would you even get that distance? If you could.
Should we do all of the housekeeping questions? That's why I'm silent. I'm thinking, should we do all of them? And then I've got a manual super chat to shout out.
You're the boss. We can run through them.
Any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? That's a horizon formerly known as Earth curve. Shout out to GOG Guru, who says, have you reviewed Witsit and Jaren's debate yet? Yeah, we did it on Ballbusters last Saturday. Also, shout out to Pablo, who sent a gifted 5 memberships to the people in chat. So, another shout out to GOG Guru, who was gifted one of those memberships, Trolling for Truth. Who's that? Potty something or other? Potty Mouth Mexican, Lee Brown, and Getaflix. Is that right? You all receive free memberships. Thank you very much, Pablo. Really appreciate the support. But yeah, we covered Jaren and Witsit on Saturday. And it seems like the game's rigged. That's my only summary in that regard.
Was that even a debate? Is that what you call a debate?
Like I say, it seemed like the game's rigged, right?
Just don't appreciate big balls.
When you're in a debate, the point is you want to win the debate. That's the reason for the debate. Now, when the guy you're debating is proving your point, didn't you pounce on it and continue to pounce on it as many times as Jiren did when using Earth flat? And it didn't happen.
I mean, this, as I said on the Ballbuster show in that regard, was far more stressful when Jaron was on our side. Yeah? It's encouraging to me that he's actually defected to the ball side, because that's what he was always being called by us anyway. Well, everyone except me. I'm like, no, he's definitely a flatty. And therefore, it's worth my effort appealing to him to understand these arguments and disseminate them to his larger audience in a good fashion, regardless if that benefits me because he's calling me a scammer. Well, now it's clear why. He was obviously always planning on defecting to the Globe side. That was his preordained part in this journey that we've taken. Some of us were corralled into his group. Some of us stayed here. The ones that didn't were told we were scammers, so they kept away from us and our good arguments. And while we put that across to Jaron, he wasn't interested, right? He was just interested in telling the audience that our good arguments were... Well, he wasn't interested in telling anything about our arguments. He was just telling his audience that we were scammers. He didn't even tell them what we were doing to scam, just that we were scammers.
Well, I agree with you on making it less stressful on for Jaron being on the other side now. Yeah, less stressful for me and Brian to have to try and convince people of what this cat is all about. So I agree with that. It's a lot less stressful now that Jaron has come out of the closet as a baller.
Wait, someone was stressed out about Jeremy? What? Who is
Yeah, the stress was me and Brian trying to convince certain people that I don't want to name that kept trying to deal with Jaron and convince Jaron and teach Jaron, but he didn't want to listen. So it was very stressful for me and Brian.
Oh, people who run shows that you don't want to name, right? Is that it?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He knows who he is.
I'm gonna be honest. He was always kind of silly, but I didn't really think he would ever really just go straight back to the ball. I didn't think that would happen, to be honest with you. It doesn't surprise me that it did, but I didn't think it would happen that way.
Well, that's what Whitson said. He said when he came back after 6 months of reviewing the data or whatever else Jaron said, he's convinced it's the ball. And Whitson said, stop it. As soon as you came back from Antarctica, you were saying it's a globe. So that was one good thing Whitson held him to.
Against every which word we've defined in it. Then there's pointlessness having English language.
I said the 4 states of water.
I just come in and said to me, instead of saying, can I pay on my
Love it.
card?
Hey, click OK. It's glad to have you.
Yo,
Hello.
Yes,
Yes.
hello. Joining with your
I
mic
thought
right
you were
open.
playing a video.
That's all right.
Apologise, everybody.
No problem. Neil does it most of the time. You're very rarely doing this, so you get a pass.
Yeah,
Once.
right.
If you're a member of the channel, you can actually check out us doing a bit of book editing. I did actually publish the last section. I hacked off all the crap in between. But when we actually started doing a bit of work, and there was a bit of politicking being done by Brian and a couple of others, Adam, at the beginning, that I included as well, just in case anyone's interested. I had absolutely no interest in it, neither did QE, but I don't know, there's some people who I assume are politically inclined to be interested in World War III or whatever's going on. I don't know. Who cares? But it's there for you if you're a member. Check it out. As there's been several new members, there is actually a video to promote for members. We also discussed, obviously, the book editing, which is the title of it, but what's the name of Ranty's new video channel, whatever it is? Auditing the Absurd. So I hadn't got time to deal with Ranty, so I told him to get lost. Now I got told off. I'm like, fine. Okay, I shouldn't be so rude to Ranty, apparently. But that was only 50% of the arguments. Some were saying that I was perfectly within my rights to be as rude as I like to Ranty. But there we go. As I'm going to be shortly on a PR trail promoting a book, the argument eventually won over that I should be less rude, even if it's to Ranty. So if you're out there listening, Ranty, I'm sorry. Yeah? I didn't mean to bring up you watching other men banging you, you know. That's rude of me, and although not true, I'm sorry that I brought it up, okay? There we go. Hopefully that's dealt with and dispensed with that, and moving forward, there'll be less rudeness. I won't specifically detail the rudeness, but you get the general idea, and I apologise. There's no need for me to mention those things that Ranty engages in. Anyway, so there we go. That's been done so that the PR trail can move forward with a clean slate. Unfortunately for me, something that I didn't want to dedicate any time to because I ain't got it. I mean, I'm not messing around when I say I've got a limited time. I'm actually, in case you can hear blinging sounds from my eBay, doing things while, you know, whilst the live show's going on, which is something I promised Brian I wouldn't do. I just haven't got enough hours in the day. So in this specific message, just to fill the audience in, I'm being asked to read a long-ass email, and I just haven't got time. So my quick response is, give me 50 quid and I'll deal with your email. Along with a rude reply as well, because it's Ranty, right? Why not? In any event, that was sincere. As in, you know, I haven't got time to deal with this. Literally, I've got microphones to post and books to write. And in the case of right now, live shows to run. Now, if someone's paying me, then you're like, okay, fair enough. Now, 50 quid might be a bit egregious. It's like if someone shows intent and they're like, 50 quid, get lost to read an email. Look, here's 20 quid. I'm showing you intent because I intend to book you to do a gig. So here's 20 quid. Read my freaking email. That's a different matter. Now, from what I've gleaned, Ranty's not interested in giving me a dime, right? So get lost, Ranty. You know, he's got no intention of paying me, and I haven't got time to deal with these cheapskates from the peanut gallery for free. That's the bottom line. Now, maybe Ranty doesn't understand that. I tried to communicate it in a video that, again, because I'm being played it by Adam, I'm being shown that he's taking clips of me saying, look, here's how you get in touch with me. If you're my family member, I'll deal with you for free. If you happen to encounter me on the street, I'll deal with you for free. But if you want me to take part in your Flat Earth event, pay me. Or join my show for free, like now, right? Ranty or whoever is being listed, I wasn't really only paying half attention because I was, again, doing mics, posting them. This is at 10 o'clock at night. Yeah, I'm going out to my local parcel shop, which is my local Tesco, to drop mics off at 10 o'clock at night whilst writing the book. I'm still doing 2 jobs. Yeah, Ranty thinks he's going to get my attention for more than 5 seconds. He's got another thing coming. Unless he gives me money, then it's different. Obviously, then you get my attention immediately. Speaking of which, someone who's immediately got my attention, Wandeck's having electronic problems with his computers, and therefore sent me a manual super chat. Yeah, sent me $40 in the post. I'm like, oh my God, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Well, you know, it's not because he's asking me to do a gig or take up any of my time. He's just like, your dad died. I know you're having a hard time of it. Here's $40. Hope it helps. I'm having struggles sending electronic PayPals or super chats or whatever. So you're like, bloody hell, thank you so much. And yes, it absolutely does help. I immediately handed it over to my wife for car repairs. She's just paid about 150 quid to have our car MOT'd, which I promised her apparently that I'd pay for and didn't. So immediately got handed to her, and she's a little bit happier with me. So yes, thank you, Wandeck. It was very helpful for the manual super chat that he gave me. But that got my attention, and he's now getting praised for it, yeah? As opposed to getting a rude remark about how bleeding busy I am, which I am, yeah? Now, why am I busy? This will come to a head. It'll end soon, right? I'll have a focus of attention, which is 2 jobs rather than 3. Live show and book. Once that is produced, the book isn't even finished, right? We're still producing it, still being edited. And a certain degree of content being added where necessary by Adam and Quantum Eraser. Let's just acknowledge that off the bat. Now, Brian, who confessed yesterday it's through a little bit of jealousy, would rather poke the bear and say, you're not even writing your book, you've got ghostwriters. Prick. He's trying to get my goat, and he knows exactly how to. Friends can do that, right? When a friend's having a jab, you laugh at the end of the process, because not to the untrained eye, there are no untrained eyes when we're watching. I suppose there are, because this being published, right? It's going out to members, so there are a few untrained eyes watching what we're doing. But to the untrained ear, it's like, Brian actually wants to upset me. Well, he does. That's what mates do. And he did. But at the end of it, he gave a little back. He's like, no, I'm only doing it because I'm a little bit jealous of all the help you're getting to publish a book that's about Flat Earth Debate, an entity that you've produced. And you are essentially Flat Earth Debate. But the book's more than Nathan Oakley, hence me saying Flat Earth Debate. That was the terminology Brian used. So when this book comes out, which it isn't finished yet, for any idiot that's watching Ranty who's saying it's a rubbish book, You're like, what are you talking about? It's not even published yet. But yeah, fine. You know, another reason why I wouldn't dedicate more than 5 seconds of half glancing at what Ranty's got to say in an email to me, unless I'm being paid, which I thought I'd made really clear. Like I say, Ranty keeps clipping up the video where I'm pointing out what you need to do to actually get my attention. And he ain't doing it. That is to say, he hasn't paid me anything. And the low amount of £50 was obviously not low enough, right? You know, okay, fine, get lost. I've got too much on my plate. Too much to do. But the mic thing, that'll come to an end, right? That said, I just bought 5 mics today. So I'll be making a few more of those mic videos. But they've done quite nicely. Did I mention this? The mic videos themselves, where I did Omi videos last year, to put the mics on eBay, I've had to make little mic videos. And there's been people in the comments going, it only got to the 20-minute mark and you're already talking about mics in your live show. Yeah, I am. Do you see that name under this video? What does it say? Does it say Flat Earth Content Channel? Or does it say Nathan Oakley? I'm pretty sure it's the latter. I'll talk about my mics. You know what I mean? They're taking up a huge chunk of my life currently. And that's what this channel's about, what I do. Yeah? Go back far enough, you'll find me on aeroplanes travelling far and wide with hi-fi equipment being sold to, for example, Harrods. Yeah, that's what I was doing on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel at one stage. Now it's Flat Earth content, and people have given me the most support for that. And there's a lot of love and a community that's been built up around that. But unfortunately, through censorship, that community simply, currently, isn't enough to pay my mortgage. So I've got to do something else. I've got to do mics, whether I want to or not. It also means I've got far less time than I ever had. I was already up against a time limitation. But it means that when it comes to the point of this, the conclusion to this, someone like Ranty trying to demand my time, it's not like I'm saying, oh, you can pay me because I'm so worthy of payment in this arena. And yeah, number one, I am. Number two, I literally don't have time to spare, and the only way you're going to get my attention is by paying me. For a mic, for a super chat, whatever, don't care. As long as I can pay my mortgage at the end of the month. Now, the fact that I couldn't meant I had to do the other thing, sell mics. But the videos, they've added another 40,000 views onto the channel. Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah? You look at them and go, oh, this video's only had 200 views. So you go, yeah, well, I've sold 110 mics. Most of them unique, most of them getting their own video to show what the mic sounds like in a little shorts video. Well, people are clicking them on eBay, and they're clicking them on YouTube, and they're clicking them on shorts or flicking by them, and they're all generating ad revenue and views. Just like I thought I couldn't do because I didn't have time, because I was selling mics and publishing the videos for them. So it's all working out quite nicely. Everything's coming up Nathan. I'm quite delighted. And, right, the comments, this is the last thing I'll say on it. There's overlap that I never anticipated, right? I wanted overlap by having Omi videos where I'm overlapping last year into a different format, Omi TV, and then publishing that on YouTube. By doing mics totally separate from flat earthing, people come, they look at a mic video and they're like, I really like this mic. I've got an SM7B. I quite like the Rode Podcaster. And then underneath it'll say, you do realise this guy thinks Earth's flat, right? In other words, it's a comment from somebody who's looked at the rest of the channel and cannot quite fricking believe what they're seeing. And they're not saying, they're not spewing anti-flat Earth rhetoric at me. They're just normies that have come and found that the guy who's making them aware of a particular mic they might be interested in, now it sounds on a male voice, also tells people Earth's measured flat. They just don't know quite how to deal with it. And I love that. It makes my day. If you're one of those commenters, by the way, thank you so much. You make my day. Because I can tell by the way you're phrasing your comment that you're saying it and you half want to pour scorn on me, but you don't know how to yet. So you're just like, this guy thinks Earth's flat. You're like, yeah, I know it's flat. Anyway,
Well, that is shocking to a lot of people, Nathan. And I want to ask you a question. If Ranty's trying to get in touch with you, obviously, because he's saying that he wants you to debate certain people. Well, why don't we get ahead of it and say, we run a flat earth debate show. Oh, you're going to cry about the mute button? Well, you need to have control of your show. But let's put out a debate where it's claim, support, and demonstration. If you're not going to debate in that fashion, then we're not interested.
I don't care. The rules here are don't swear, aren't they? And if you come. Now, if you had a decent argument for a ball, you'd have this channel humiliated. Like when I first started and I didn't know what I was doing and I didn't know how to prove beyond all doubt Earth is measured flat. I didn't have those words that will shut down anybody who wants to come on my show to debate me for free. Again, we've covered this earlier. If you want me to come on your show because you're scared of my mute button, you can pay me. It is that easy. Meanwhile, I'll keep my daily show running where I open a door to anybody who wants to tell me I'm wrong. Or what, you don't like the fact that I'll be able to tell you you're wrong and point out where you measure your Earth flat for your ball belief. You'd prefer that you could talk through that while I'm saying it. Yeah, you can. You just have to pay me for it. Is that not clear? Oh, you'd rather do it for free on my show? Yeah, well, you're not here, are you? You can be. There's a section to join in Discord that I forgot to click on. Feel free to click the link. Good. Is that you, Craig? Clearly not. But yeah, but if you want to join, you're welcome to do so. Those are one of the methodologies. The other way is pay me. Not bleat about how you think it's unfair that I control my show. That's what you get for free. If you don't like it, oh well, I don't care. I haven't got time to worry about what you don't like about how I run my show because you feel you need to tell me about how Earth is definitely ball-shaped. Why is it that you feel that you need to tell me that? Oh, because you know I'm a threat to you and you want to be in a position where you can shut that down, that threat, under your terms. Oh, well. Yeah, for that you pay. To get your comfort. That's what you're looking for from me. A bit of comfort. Well, pay me and you can have it. Yeah, you can shout me down when I say, no, well, Earth's just measured flat with the elevation angles that you were using in your 10K channel. Blah, 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 blah. You can do that over the top of me when I say that. If I was on McToon's show and you were paying me to be there and I start launching into our Toon measured Earth flat with his elevation angles and suddenly I got interrupted by a wanker, I'd be like, I don't care, I'll count my money while you interrupt me. Here, I'll absolutely shut you down. That's right, I'll mute you. While I'm telling you beyond all certitude that your measurements are of a flat Earth. You won't get to chant through that. You certainly won't get to shut it down when you're not paying me.
So you're saying you'll immediately deflect the measurements. I see.
Yeah, Ranty was suggesting that I should, be in a position to want to desire to debate McToon. He phoned me up proactively from Antarctica, Ranty. Did he give two shiny shits about you, you twat? No! He phoned me up while he was alleged to be in Antarctica, though, didn't he? Yeah? He's calling me. He's chasing me, dickhead. You think I need to get in front of him? No! Yeah, he joined the show for free. And what did we get out of him? Quote, he tried to deflect with measurements, end quote, MC Toon, from Antarctica, when proactively joining my live show with the link published daily for free. So what's that? I should go and join Toon somewhere else? Piss off. Toon joined. He got told for the 100th time when he joined my show proactively, like he proactively commented the 99 times previously he got told the same thing in comments. You measure Earth flat with elevation angles, dickhead. What's that going to get? I'll tell you what it got. My name yelled into the Antarctic snow. Now, apparently there's going to be a documentary made about this trip to Antarctica called An Experiment. Yeah, you better include that. Yeah, that was an event. Yeah, there was a song made about it. So, do I need to attend Ranty the Dickhead's event? No! These people you named, dum-dum, are yelling my name into the frickin' Antarctic snow. Are they yelling your name, Ranty, you boring twat? No, they are not. Yeah? Understand and appreciate who's chasing who. Yeah? The 100th time that Toon chased me proactively. Are we clear? Oh, yeah, you want me? Yeah, I'll be your bitch. Pay me. What's that? You want me to want to be your bitch? Fuck off, you pair of twats.
And if I remember correctly, I was there that Sunday. It was on a Sunday. And he wasn't muted at all. You allowed him to speak. He's the one that got frustrated and started screaming. you deflected to measurements, and where's the guns? So
Yeah,
there was
started
no
yelling
mute button
through me.
involved.
Yeah, Toon wanted to yell through me on my show, and in his frustration, he told his audience after putting the phone down on me, because what, he couldn't tolerate hearing the 100th rendition of You Measure Earth Flat. He ended up yelling my name into the frickin' snow on his own recording where he could retain control. What, retain control of how Earth's measured flat for the 100th time? Yeah, he didn't want to hear it, so he rumpused me. Yeah, he gets to do that, but I still get to have my say on my show. On his show, he could have shut the line down, couldn't he? What, mute me? Yeah, the projection is uncanny, because that's what you want. When I say Earth's measured flat with elevation angles, I've told you 100 times to, it'd be best served if that was muted by you bunch of dicks. But I'll be wanting payment for that. Here, we get to hear it. That'd be me telling Toon that he's measured Earth flat, and him consequently yelling my frickin' name into the snow, and then saying, and I quote, "He tried to deflect with measurements," end quote, Michael Toon. Yeah, well, that would be Michael admitting Earth is measured flat by him, and I'm pointing it out to him. What was the response? Him to yell at me through the phone call that he had when proactively joining my show? Yeah, thanks. Yeah, cue the music. Where are the guns, Nathan? We made a song about it. Let's see if it makes the documentary by you lying shitbag shills on the Globe side. Was that an event? Because I'm pretty sure one of your members who attended, that's a fairly large percentage of the party, went out of their way to call me from there. You're going to include that in your documentary. You're going to include Toon's quote, "You tried to deflect with measurements." Oh, what measurements would they be that I tried to deflect with? Or deflect away from the Antarctic sun that we were measuring? I'm pretty sure those were the measurements I was talking about. Elevation angles. Deflect? I was talking about the very thing you were doing. Oh, he didn't get to hear that. He was too busy muting me by yelling at me into the Antarctic snow down his phone after joining my show for free. What's that? I should join your show, Ranty. Who the hell does this twat, Ranty the Tosser, think he is? He's a moron who thought he got burnt by frickin' chemtrails. What a wally. The guy's a moron. He thinks he's going to somehow conduct me like I'm in his frickin' orchestra. No, Ranty. Yeah? You can't even control your woman, let alone me. You're having a laugh, dickhead. But it's nice that I can talk about you on my show. I've got people watching me. What, 81 of us listen to you being chastised? What a complete prick and idiot you are. Chemtrails? Burning you? Now you got sunburn, you retard. Yeah, like the very first thing I said to you? No, you're just mistaken and thick. Yeah, that'll never change, Ranty. My introduction to you calling you a stupid idiot. That stands. Now you're there, stupid idiot, though, aren't you, chemtrails? Yeah? You can be Chem Burns on the ball side, you stupid retard. Yo, Dan, do you associate with Ken Burns? Ranty Ken Burns? That man's retarded. He thought chemtrails burnt him. Are you associated with McToon? McToon associates with people that think that chemtrails burn them. Well, McToon, do you really hang around with these retards? I mean, by association, Ranty's using your name. And Simon Dan's name. And Katz's name. So, Katz, you host a show with this retard that thinks he was burnt by chemtrails. Are you both retarded? Yeah, now if you want to chastise me, you can pay me for it. Or you could come here and get the 101st time being told that you measure Earth flat with elevation angles in Antarctica. Yeah, that'll get you screaming my name into the snow. Make no mistake. Meanwhile, there's no debate. We measure, you measure, everyone measures Earth flat always without exception. There's no cheat code getting around this one, I'm afraid, lads. It's the end of the line for this discussion. It never was a debate. The entire game is creating the illusion that there's a discussion to have about your ball belief that requires Earth be measured flat. It's the end of the discussion. Took 10 years to get here, now we're here. What, and you think you need to get ahead of the book? Yeah, you do. Yeah, get ahead of that book, lads, because it'll be telling people in no uncertain terms. Earth's measured flat. There won't be any screaming my name into the Antarctic snow through the top of the proactive attempt to tell me how Earth ain't flat, with your elevation angles that you've been told about measuring 100 times. That won't happen when someone's reading a book about how Earth's measured flat and how to undo every single one of your crap arguments that you have on the ball side. They're all undone in that book, a reference book that undermines everything you stand for and everything you represent if you're an anti-flat earther. It undermines everything you are at your core in those pages. That's what it does. Don't believe me? Join as a member. Go and have a listen to us editing it. And quake in your boots. Because it does undermine everything you stand for. Because we're pointing out how your globe uses flat Earth measurements in every instance. It's not a joke anymore. It's not Earth is like a Home Depot. No, Earth's measured flat. When we say it's like a Home Depot, we just mean it's measured flat. And there aren't any ball measurement examples. There's only flat Earth examples that then get claimed to be ball calculations. So they'll be measuring Earth flat too. There's no getting around it, there's no discussing it, and there certainly isn't any debating it. It's not a debatable subject, and if you choose to debate me on whether or not Earth's measured flat, you'll be relinquishing some of your ball beliefs. Because I'll be pointing out how they rely on Earth be measuring flat in order for you to have those beliefs and calculations that come from those flat Earth measurements. Like the ones that Toon was told about 100 times. Yeah, flat Earth elevation angles to the sun in Antarctica. Like in his 10K challenge. He knows Earth's measured flat. And so will anybody who reads that book. And they'll know every single crappy argument that you try and put forth to undermine those facts. Because there is no getting ahead of it. It's getting ahead of you. For anyone that reads it.
Kind of telling that he said he wanted to get ahead of it before it creates any waves. What are you afraid of, Ranty? What are you all afraid of?
Well, the waves that what you measure with an angular resolution that cats will give us a flat Earth for. Quote, cats, I'll give you a flat Earth for it. What the angular resolution of a wave the book will be causing. You all measure Earth flat. We know it, you know it.
The Rhodes say that before the book makes waves, he wants to. What?
Yes. See, Chocolate, you got to join and stay because a lot of things are discussed after the show.
I get busy at work.
Is there something wrong with Discord? I am literally the only person in there. I realise I didn't go in there for the first 20 minutes of the show. But there's nobody in there. Literally nobody. That's the first time that's happened. Is it because people just assumed there was no live show? Is the show actually going out live? It's 90 people watching. If you want to join the live stream, let me just do a quick call to action. Hold on, Neil. If you want to join this live stream, I know I've done the intro already. I'm going to do a proper call to action. I'll turn my lights on and do it properly. Right, there is a link below this video if you did want to join the live stream. For whatever reason, there's nobody in the Discord server. So below this video, the thing I say in the intro is where you can join. There's a link to join the Discord server. Click that now if you did want to take part or express your views on the nature of Earth. Hopefully we'll get a few people joining in the Discord server. Before the live show ends, I mean.
Surf Daddy was in there?
Yeah, I saw him.
Right before you started.
I suppose if you go past 9 o'clock for you guys, then people just assume there's no live show. And for me, it's like, there's ghosting going on my projector. I can't run the show if there's going to be a chance that the live show will bugger up. And I'm glad I did. I'm glad I started again. What we really need is Adam or Brian to join. Because they're more into this than I am, right? Me, I've only been given this feeling of disdain because something that I didn't want to particularly dedicate any attention to. Adam and not necessarily Brian, he was just critiquing it like I was, are presenting this stuff to me. You're like, okay, I certainly didn't have time to dedicate to a anti-flat Earth video, but you have. Now, I'm not saying Adam's got the time to dedicate to it, he just happens to have spent his leisure time doing that, right? Now, the fact that I'm then going over it with Adam and Brian and indeed you, Neil, last night, that is still our leisure time, right? After the book was done, that's what we did for several hours. It's like, well, let me show you why I've been, this is Adam, given you inspiration for editing the book. Oh, someone's at my front door. Can you just talk amongst yourselves for 20 seconds?
Yeah, so what Nathan is saying is we went over Ranty's video because Adam discovered a few things in there that Nathan can benefit from. So, yeah. trying
What can I
to
benefit
use
from?
Ranty.
I thought my wife had taken the kids out. She's actually here. She answered the door. Hey, Len. What can I benefit from?
No, I was telling him what Adam had discovered in the video and is trying to use it so you could benefit from Ranty in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I've already explained. I'm not going to rehash what we've discussed yesterday, but it's like, I've already explained what you'd need to do in more than clear terms multiple times if you want to engage with me. And while I'm sat here now, right, you can engage with me. The postman, almost, got to engage with me a second ago. That was like point 3 in my little 1-minute video about how you can interact with Nathan Oakley.
Well, Adam was talking about in reference to the book. We can use that. Free advertisement.
Sure, if at some point Simon Dan approaches me and says, I want to be an affiliate, I'll put your book as an opposer of the book, then I'll be like, yeah, okay, I'll be into that. But that, I don't believe, is what Ranty's after. Ranty just wants self-publication. He wants him to be important in some capacity, and whatever he can latch onto is what he'll latch onto. Currently, we're talking about writing a book, so that just happens to be the thing he's talking about because it's the thing we're talking about. If we were talking about going to Disneyland, it'd just be talking about that. It doesn't matter. It's whatever he can insert himself into.
He wants to hang out with the cool kids again? Sorry, Ranty.
I don't know. Maybe. In any event, there's plenty of opportunity to get in touch with Nathan Oakley if you so desire. Right? He could be here now, couldn't he? He could be joining the Discord server.
The closest he got was in chat a few times, telling everybody how he's reached out to you, but you have not responded. Now, how hard is it to read an email? It's only got to be a couple of lines, right?
Sure, I've responded to him. I'm not going to dedicate 25 minutes to reading 5 or 6 or 7 paragraphs of bullshit. No, I'm afraid not.
So it's not a couple of lines.
No, it's several bullshit paragraphs. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, I ain't got time for this. It's like I said yesterday when you brought it up. You're like, oh yeah, you covered your response. And then you started explaining things to me, like I've read the email. I'm like, no, did you not read my response? That was sincere. It's not like I'm saying I haven't got time to read this because I want to seem cool and busy. It's like, no, I haven't got time to read this.
You haven't got time to read the novel that he wrote. It's not an email, it's a novel. I get bored after if it's more than a paragraph, you lost me in an email.
Yeah, well, when it's being dissected by Adam or whoever, you and Brian and Adam and whoever was talking to me about it yesterday, then, me, I'm just like, fine, what do you want me to do for us to stop talking about this? You want me to reply and say what? Just tell me, I'll write it down verbatim and send it off now if it means we can stop talking about it. Because saying, I don't care, can we just move on? That gets dragged out for half an hour. So it's half an hour of me going, I don't care. Do we have to? Oh, it's important, very important. Okay, if I say I think it's important, will you drop it? Can I then make sure it's not important to me? After I've dedicated a 5-minute period rather than a 25-minute period telling you how unimportant it is to me. If I pretend it's important for 5 minutes, can we do something else? No, people want your sincerity. If they find something important, they want you to think it's as important as they think it is.
If Adam sees an angle, you got to respect that. We got to go with that angle. Adam's a smart guy. He's like a very calculated general in a war. I wouldn't want to mess with him.
You don't. That's why it takes 20 minutes, because eventually you're conceding to his way and concerning yourself about it in the way he wants you to concern yourself. So I wouldn't be talking about it now if it wasn't for that fact, would I? Well done, Adam. You know, he gets what he wants often because he's a smart man and can do that, right? He's got the tenacity. Me, I get bored quick. And I'm very fickle. Yeah, but that sometimes works to your advantage. Because anybody that you're like, no, I don't want your help, I'm not interested. What's that? You've got a time slot for me to publish my book on? Oh, yeah, of course I'm interested. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Anyway, when the book comes out, it's going to be legendary. You're doing something that nobody's done in the history of writing flat Earth books.
Yeah, we've got exceptional source materials and researchers behind that book. So the material is heavily vetted. It's going to be ace. It's going to be an exceptional book to gift to somebody that you want to know Earth's flat and don't want to argue with. And you want them to have a good bash at understanding all of the different arguments. So yeah, absolutely, it's grown beyond me being proud of a book I've written and grown into a book that will surpass me in my lifetime. And that's something to, there's something to behold, something to be very, very proud of. And if you are amongst the many people who have assisted me in creating this book, not just through the writing process, but through the experience that we all garnered in the last 10 years, then you need to tap yourselves on the back also. There's a reason it is the highest of standard that there is in this subject. Upon release, it will be the gold standard. There will not be a higher standard of flat Earth reference book.
Well, I was thinking about this, Nathan. What the book is going to provide is a way for a reader to be reading this information without being interrupted by a fundy jumping in right at the critical parts. That ain't going to happen here.
Well, you can't argue with the book. I said this, I think it was Brian. I was like, you can't argue with the book. And like, no, people will. They'll sit and have it on their show and pull it apart. You're like, okay, so what are you going to do with the actual text, though, given how thoroughly vetted and polished it is? Which bits can you go through and pull out and misrepresent? I mean, I'm sure you can lie about what's in the book quite easily, quote, misrepresent it, as Brian puts it. But to me, that's just lying. I mean, if you've got to strawman the book or represent it in the way that it doesn't represent itself, then you're just deceitful. And I can't control liars if people are out there that just want to say, oh, well, the book starts talking about how we can't see too far. No, it doesn't.
Well, if a guy, like say that we're doing a show and there's someone new in the audience, and just when you get into the critical parts, a fundy interrupts, or there's rumpusing going on, or whatever happens, that's not going to happen to a reader who's reading the book. Now, if callers want to try and take it apart and look disingenuous, then feel free. You're only condemning yourself.
Yeah. Got people in the chat saying, you're not censored, you come up in my channel feed. You're like, all right, well, that's good for you. Nice that you get this video published to you, and nice that you're here regularly, and you're here regularly and still get it published to you. That kind of seems circular, like almost you don't need it publishing to you because you're here anyway. But that's good for you. Meanwhile, I know what happens when you type in my name and try and look for my material. You want to claim I'm not censored? By decree of the bleeding government of the states, it's censored. They demanded so. What are you babbling about, saying it's not censored? Who is this dick? Mark C. Idiot messages on screen. Hello, Dumbo. It was decreed by government that we flat earthers must be censored. Fact. YouTube were told to do so, you stupid dick. You want to tell me I'm not censored? Oh, right. So did I imagine that woman who's now dead, rest in peace, sitting in front of YouTube and telling them to censor flat earthers? Did I imagine that? Did I hallucinate that? No, I did not. Dick.
So someone new comes in, we scare them off. We don't scare them off. The facts scare them off. And if you can't handle, look, you're sitting right in chat right now. You could come right on and prove Earth is a sphere. Oh, you can't. That's right.
Yeah, just the anti-flat Earth rhetoric in its purest essence. Nathan says censored. He's a flat earther. Therefore, Nathan is wrong. Hello, wanker. Just because I'm a flat earther doesn't mean that everything I say is automatically incorrect. I say I'm censored. No, it's not. It's something else. He's a flat earther. Must be wrong. Cut to YouTube being told to censor us. You shit for brains, retard, ball-believing asshole. Yeah, I'm censored. Yeah, I struggle to feed my kids because of it. YouTube were told to do so, but you're saying in the chat all high and mighty saying, no, you're not. It's because you're mean. No, you stupid ball-believing asshole. That's not the case. Yeah, I'm censored because I tell people Earth's flat. Those are the facts in this matter. You don't have to like it or deny it simply because I'm a flat earther. Bleeding anti-flat earthers assume everything I say must be wrong because I'm a flat earther. Sad. Idiot. But that's just it, isn't it? That is what defines an anti-flat earther. Someone that assumes that literally everything a flat earther says is incorrect, to the point where when a flat earther describes something that a ball, quote, should do, if it's in line with the rhetoric of a ball, but a flat earther said it, that will also be deemed incorrect. For example, you and your reference frames are ruined, end quote, Simon Dan. What, the reference frames that the ball claims that I would have been detailing when Dan, the anti-flat earther, decided that me and my reference frames are wrong? What, because I'm talking about reference frames and I'm a flat earther, it must be wrong. In the face of you needing 2 reference frames to claim Coriolis on a globe that's turning, you're an idiot, your name's Simon Dan, but because I'm Nathan Oakley, the flat earther, I must be wrong when talking about reference frames. And I must be wrong when talking about censorship. And I must be wrong when talking about Earth being measured flat. Oh, well, what are you going to do when you measure Earth flat for surface level in your ball curve maths? Is that wrong? Because I'm pretty sure when you tell me I'm wrong moving forward, it'll be wrong about the Earth that's flat and being measured by you, leaving you in a bit of a paradoxical scenario where you either find yourself in the hard place of denying the flat Earth measurements you need to believe you're on a ball, or on the rock of accepting that Earth is measured flat, for you to later believe you're on a ball. Yeah, I'm not lying. We are censored, and Earth is measured flat for you to believe you're on a ball. That's why I'm censored. But meanwhile, if you want to be a flat earther that talks about how 9/11 wasn't true, it's an inside job, yeah, like Dave Weiss, then you can be promoted in the algorithm. Then, if you want to talk about Sandy Hook, like Dave Weiss, you know, then you can be promoted in the algorithm. If you want to talk about how there are no forests on a flat Earth, like Dave Weiss, then you can be promoted. You can head up the group, and then that group can be corralled by a shepherd named Jeronism. And he can disband them all when he goes back to the ball. And Dave Weiss can continue talking about how the mountains are frickin' trees. Or there's a Mandela effect. Or there's clone centres. Or 9/11 truth. Or Sandy Hook. Or whatever bullshit conspiracy shite that some money-grabbing tosspot wants to spout alongside Flat Earth. Because then Flat Earth's not about Flat Earth anymore. It's not about how Earth's measured flat for a ball believer in your maths anymore. It's about how there's a conspiracy. Go ahead, whoever that was.
Or you could start a show about ghost stories. I like ghost stories.
You like ghost stories?
Yeah, why not? For entertainment.
Okay, I mean, more power to you.
Half-handed shout out to Ranty.
Shout out to who?
Ranty.
Oh, indeed, yeah. Shout out to Auditing the Absurd. As we've talked about him, I might as well give his channel a proper shout out. We're not covering his actual video, so I'm not going to put a link to him, but the channel of the video I've been moaning about when referencing a chap called Ranty Flat Earth is a formerly ranty Flat Earth, now auditing the absurd YouTube channel. So there you go, Ranty. You got what you wanted, a little bit more publicity out of me. I didn't get paid. Except
Thanks, Nathan.
Say again one more time.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, Len. Nice to have you.
I'm currently working, so I can't really talk much. But yeah, I mentioned a few weeks ago about putting QR codes with certain sections in the book for like images or videos to back things up. Is that something you're going to pursue?
I haven't mentioned it again, but it's good to remind me of these things. It sounds like a great idea. It's certainly something I said vaguely. My response was, I'll mention it to the publisher. I haven't spoken to him since.
Yeah.
Since you last suggested it. But therefore, I have forgotten. So it's good that you reminded me. But yeah, it's still a great idea. It was a great idea last time you mentioned it.
So there's that, and plus I stumbled across a Creaky video from his second channel. It's just a short video, but if you'd like to let off a little bit of sting, I'd like you to rip him a new arsehole. I really can't stand that fella.
You don't like Creaky? What's wrong with Creaky? Oh, what? No, sorry, rephrase that. What don't you like about Creaky? What's not to like?
He's such a berk.
Say again?
He's an absolute berk.
Go on then, can someone grab have you got a link to it? Stick it in the...
It's in the main text chat.
Can someone grab that?
I have no idea how to put it in Master B, then.
Oh, you're not one of the chosen cool kids to be in Master B, I don't think, Len.
Maybe one day.
I don't know, you sound pretty northern, I'll be honest. Probably never. Several northerners already, I'll be honest, you know? I'm sure someone will dig it out. If not, we're going to round out this live show soon, but perhaps we'll cover it tomorrow.
I put it in there.
Oh, really?
Oh,
okay. I don't see it. Where did you put it in Master B? I don't see it, Neil. Or are you saying that future tense? I will put it in Master B.
no, I just put it in there. If that's the video, he said main text chat.
Right? Oh, it's appeared now. Yeah, sure. As we are rounding out this live show in about 10 minutes, we'll cover this now. Yeah, no worries. Thank you for digging it out, Len.
On Prime. On Booking.com.
No, a couple of unskippable ads. We'll just get past those first.
A moron. Thicker than a bull's and half as useful.
Please subscribe.
But this comment section now underneath this TikTok video, every single comment will be a flat earth argument I've heard and debunked.
Yeah, I don't doubt that.
Hundreds of times. Oh, that's just Callum trying to wind them up. Pack it up.
That sounds like a baseless assertion. So, okay. So, by general baseless assertion, you've debunked every argument that you haven't seen yet, hundreds of times. Pure bravado.
Guys, it's all over. Joan Vangelis Googled it, so it must be true. It was fun while it lasted.
I have fun in the comment section sometimes.
You're the ones believing a lie because you can't accept the possibility you're being deceived and that our world isn't what we're told it is. Then tell...
I mean, this is all low-hanging fruit as far as I'm concerned. These comments are nothing burgers. When you're responding to somebody who says, I can't believe that I haven't been lied to, or something vague and nondescript. Who cares? I mean, let's just give him something to actually respond to. Creaky, every aspect of your ball belief requires Earth be measured flat in order to create it, calculate it, and mathematise it into existence for you to reify it as a belief. Your belief in a ball requires Earth be measured flat. End statement. My name's Nathan Oakley. I'm a flat earther. I don't have any beliefs in this regard. I just have your measurements that you will rely on when you tell your audience about how you believe in the ball that required Earth be measured flat to create. There you go. Deal with that. Please let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that is helping Creaky in his second channel along in the YouTube algorithm. I'm sure he'd be really delighted that we're shouting out his second channel, as it's obviously far less subscribed to than his main channel. So please do toddle along to Creaky's second channel, Creaky Extra, I will assume it's called, and let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots, or indeed the videographer, in this case Creaky himself. So just let him know that we have responded to his video at the end of this live stream, and hopefully if he was to do the same, and that is to say if he was to cover our video, he would do the same for me and put a nice polite comment or link to my video for his audience. So hopefully he'd respond in kind and put a link to Nathan Oakley 1980 when responding to the fact that we measure Earth flat in all instances. Not me, not belief, not I suggest, but everyone, without exception, including Creaky, will measure Earth flat always, without exception.
Tell us what it is. Prove to us what it is.
I'm going to suggest this. As soon as we get to anything substantive in this video that alludes to a proof that has a measurement attached, I will be able to take that straight to the flat Earth that is required to make the assertion. And I'm going to infer, I'm just going to guess, I'm going to go out on a limb, that within the 8 minutes of this video, there will be at least one example where I can take what this man says and turn it into a flat Earth prerequisite required for the statement that he's made. Let's see if I'm proven correct.
The reason so many people accept that the Earth is an oblate spheroid is because that's what every single scientific observation shows us.
There's no such thing as a scientific observation or is in a category error. The nature of Earth as a plane or oblate spheroid isn't a scientific question because it's not a cause and effect relationship. Science exclusively deals with natural phenomena in the physical and natural world. That's physics, aka natural science. To suggest a plane, that's an aspect, or a sphere, that's a shape, is number one a false dichotomy, but certainly isn't something that is answered by the reified version of science that this numpty thinks it is. Category error.
Everything we've checked.
Go ahead.
So the every scientific observation with that, whatever that is, has shown us that it's an oblate spheroid. So I guess that doesn't include the cartoon ball that NASA shows you, because NASA shows you a perfectly spherical ball. That's not an oblate spheroid.
No, it doesn't. You're wrong. No, it doesn't ever. NASA cannot physically ever show you a ball. That is beyond their capabilities. That's never been shown or done.
I reference that with a cartoon of a ball that represents what we're supposed to live on. But it's never an oblate spheroid. It's a sphere.
It's not a sphere.
So there's a problem right there.
It's a circle on a 2D surface, painted or otherwise, cartoon or otherwise. It's never spherical.
You know, we haven't just gone, hey, we pick a shape. Or round, I like round, I do die. Oh, yeah, then we'll just say the Earth is round and nobody ever questions it. That's not how it works.
No, that's called a straw man. No, again, nobody would have suggested that to you. You've just invented that as an argument that you take apart, aka his straw man fallacy. Nobody had come to you and said, did you just make up the Earth's a sphere and then start going around telling people that Earth's a sphere? So that you could rebut it as though it was an argument that was put to you. It wasn't, aka straw man fallacy. Pathetic. Yeah, the lowest of all of the egregious fallacies to use is the straw man fallacy. Pretending that you're defeating an argument you haven't heard for an opponent that doesn't exist in this instance. Oh my God. Meanwhile, in terms of the actual sphericity that's being asserted, it's derived from elevation angle measurements of the stars in the first instance and projected from an equatorial plane inside a ball if projected into orbital motion around the sun. That would be me describing A, a flat Earth that is required to be measured with elevation angles to the stars in order to B, create the ball you think you're living on? On? You don't get to be on a ball in orbital motion created by Copernicus when he measured Earth flat with elevation angles. You can be in it and describe it going around the sun on an equatorial plane, but not on it. Now, this is a retard doing a poor job of explaining how he feels or believes a sphere might work for him to be on it. You can't. He doesn't understand it. He's just stupid. But in his burning of a straw man, it's not like you've just come up with an idea of balls and started saying that you're living on them. No, that's exactly what you are doing. Because you don't know how to be on a ball, mathematically or otherwise. I do know how to describe the measurement of a flat Earth with elevation angles to the stars. I can point him out to someone like MC 200 times, and all he can do is ignore that fact. But it is the fact of the matter, Earth will be measured flat in order to create these models to put in motion mathematically around the sun.
We've known that the Earth is a globe since, right, bloody...
Why did you need that edit? Were the previous 12 sentence fragments not worth editing out?
Like 2,000 years ago.
Really? You think you got an understanding of a ball 2,000 years ago? What did you do? Measure sticks and shadows? Is that what you think you did?
That's why it baffles me that so many flat earthers are American, because we knew the Earth was...
So what's that got to do with anything? If the Americans understood that 2,000 years ago we measured sticks and shadows on a flat Earth.
The globe before anyone knew America was there.
I know.
Good.
Because America was definitely around 2000.
This is a silly argument.
They just bonkers. They're completely off the box.
Pass your practical drive.
Independent. Explain how NDT says you can't see curvature at 24 miles. See,
that's not a flat Earth argument. Explain how Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see curvature. There's a lot to unpack there, but that's got nothing to do with a flat Earth. When you assert that you've got curvature, you need a surface level and a parallel eye level to assert it. You need to measure Earth flat to assert that you've got calculable curvature. Now, when Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see it, that stuff is flat. Who cares? He's a guy. He's just some guy. What he says is irrelevant. Your Earth curve calculation requires Earth be measured flat at surface level for your height of eye parallel with surface level and the measurement of that height of eye parallel with surface level being measured. You're deriving a depression angle. From what, you say? Oh, the eye level measured parallel with surface level in Earth curve maths. So what's being measured again? Surface level and eye level parallel with it for a depression angle from it to infer that the physical geometric sphere edge horizon in orthographic view is below surface level that you just measured. That's where you get Earth curve from. What's that you say, commenter? Neil deGrasse Tyson says you can't see it. He's a wanker. Who cares what Neil deGrasse Tyson says? Your Earth curve calculations require you measure Earth flat. I don't care what some tosser holding a beach ball says, when I can show you your Earth curve maths and where Earth will, that's to say it must, be measured flat. What's that? It isn't measured flat. Well, then you won't be measuring your height above surface level and deriving a depression angle from a parallel eye level, parallel with surface level that you just measured your height off. For altitude, that's height off sea level. These are all flat Earth prerequisites. They're right there in your maths that you're now denying when you say Earth isn't flat. For your measurement that you'll need it to be flat for. That'll be the Earth curve maths that this commenter doesn't seem to understand, is alleged in Earth curve maths that measures Earth flat. Yo, Creaky! What are you going to do about that? Is that some message that you can straw man and pretend that I just said you just say balls or what you've got? No, I'll point out Earth's measured flat in your Earth curve maths that this idiot commenter thinks that what Tyson says has any bearing on just how flat Earth must be measured for you to assert there's a physical geometric sphere edge for a horizon below surface level in orthographic, begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve mathematics. Because that's the only place Earth curve resides. Quote, the rumpus, someone who comes here, who isn't a coward bitch, moaning about a mute button. Earth curve only exists in the maths, end quote. So you want to ask a question about Earth curve? Come and ask us. Don't ask this sentence fragment using stuttering Welshman, because he's a moron who'll strawman the facts. What are those facts? Those facts are that Earth are measured flat for you to assert you've got Earth curve. Those are the facts. They are indisputable.
This is another thing, right? So Neil deGrasse Tyson, as good as he's also a pain in the ass because he keeps saying these things that flat earthers interpret as proof of.
Sorry, who said that the guy who said this was a flat earther? This is a question about ball earth and how far we should or shouldn't see earth curve in ball earth maths. I explained in the assertion that we have an earth curve that, quote, only exists in the maths, because I actually debate this frickin' subject. I know exactly where it is claimed to be, and it only exists in the maths when you measure earth flat for your height off surface level. That's how it works. Those are the facts. I just explained this. Yeah, Creaky is a retard. He doesn't have the slightest idea and thinks that Tyson's a good guy, but he causes flat earthers problems when he says we just see it flat. It doesn't matter what Tyson says. The measurements are flat to assert you've got earth curve. It's right there in the calculations. It's labelled surface level. It's the only thing that gets measured. Go ahead, Neil.
That was me. I was gonna say I kind of like this angle though, because this shows you why Mr. Smoking the Grass Tyson has been living under the bus for, I don't know, over 10 years now. Because I don't agree with he's just a guy. He's one of their priests. This guy is literally charged with running around and teaching people how they live on a ball. So that's why it's kind of cute for him to say, well, this guy's a bit of a problem. Because, yeah, that's why he's a problem. Because he's one of their priests. And running around saying things like, you can't see the curve from this high off this ball, right? That's a problem for this guy. So I understand completely what you're saying, that, you know, he's just a dude just saying some shit, and it's all there in the math. But, yeah, he is also one of the priests of this religion.
The earth is flat. Ask Neil deGrasse Tyson what he meant when he said that. I'm not him. Just...
That's the first reasonable thing he said. Kudos.
Look, I'll even... Are you happy now that I'm not Neil deGrasse
No, we don't have to override the pudding. You're not black.
Tyson? You're asking the wrong person.
Even if that's the way you interpreted his words, the second thing you should do is type in Neil deGrasse Tyson, flat earth, and I guarantee you can find a video of him saying the earth isn't flat.
So it seems as though we have a clip. You want to set it up for us?
I'd like to, but I don't know.
Sorry, same thing applies. I said who cares what he says, it doesn't matter. I show you where earth curve resides, only exists in the maths, end quote the rumpus. Someone who came here to debate because he's not a coward moaning about mute buttons. So we know where earth curve resides, in the maths. It's below surface level that you'll measure. Your height of eye above. The height of eye level. Parallel with surface level, so you can derive this dip angle calculation from the surface level you measured your height of eye level above. And then infer that there's a physical geometric sphere edge tangent point horizon below the surface level that you measured. You notice how I can just give you a quick rendition of it without a script in front of me, just so you can point out how relaxed I am. I just know this stuff. Creaky struggles to get an entire sentence out without editing himself. Meanwhile, earth curve only exists in the maths. You'll be measuring earth flat to get it.
What you're talking about.
Okay, we'll just roll it.
The B.O.B., the rapper, I have a video letter forces from
Yeah.
A single second of my time. And he...
Sorry, is this what you might call, like, selective evidence? It doesn't matter to you what Neil deGrasse Tyson says. It's just the way that misinterpreted by flat earthers. So let's cut to a different clip where he says what I want him to say. That is to say, Neil deGrasse Tyson also says Earth isn't flat, so I'll take that. Rather than what I was asked about. You utter coward. So rather than dealing with what he did say, you're going to bring out a new clip that you will deal with in lieu of the one you were asked about. Oh, well, you said that it weren't flat in this clip. Me, I point out that what one man says is irrelevant when we've got begging the question proof of nothing perspective hijacking earth curve calculations with a marked X labelled horizon earth curve tangent point that is calculable after measuring earth flat. Think I give a shit what Neil deGrasse Tyson says? Oh, Tyson says it's not flat. In earth curve maths? Did he say it's not flat in earth curve maths? Because it is. It's labelled surface level and it's required to be flat. You don't have to frickin' like it. I don't care what Tyson says. I'll slap you around your bold face with the earth curve maths, Creaky. Yeah, is it not flat in this, dickhead? Hello? It says surface level. Did you want to bend it? I'm pretty sure you won't get eye level to be parallel with it if you bend it, you retard. So yeah, you definitely require Earth to be flat if you're going to be talking about the measurements of Earth curve. There aren't any. They're calculated off the back of Earth being measured flat at surface level. It's right there labelled. What's that? Should we talk about what Tyson says? No, you utter retard, you Welsh numpty. My name's Nathan Oakley. I'm one who manages to get a sentence out when talking about just how Earth must be flat for you and Tyson. And if you deny it, what are you going to do? Deny the flat surface level in your own bleeding maths? It's that rock and hard place scenario I detailed earlier. Either you accept that Earth is being measured flat at surface level for your height of the eye level, calculating a depression angle to a marked with an X Earth curve. You either accept that fucking measurement that's flat, or you don't, in which case you don't have an Earth to measure your height of eye above to infer that you've got an Earth curve. So which is it? You deny that you've got a flat Earth to measure your height of eye above in the Earth curve maths, or you accept that Earth is measured flat. Which is it? Those are your only two choices. Your belief depends on Earth being measured flat. I hope we are all clear about it. What Tyson says is irrelevant. Because if he says, no, Earth isn't flat, I'll be showing him your Earth curve maths and saying, really? So this marked surface level is bending? The maths doesn't work anymore to infer a geometric physical sphere edge called Earth curve at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's measured height in feet off surface level in these maths. If surface level isn't level, then you're not going to be inferring any Earth curve ever because it only exists in this maths that requires you measure Earth flat. So we are all clear. Specifically this Welsh twat. You measure Earth flat for Earth curve, and you don't get to deny it because if you do, you don't get to claim you've got any Earth curve anymore. It's derived from a surface level inference after flat Earth measurement. I hope we're all clear.
He's right in a sense because
I'm right. Earth's measured flat in all instances for everyone. Tyson's words of wisdom are irrelevant.
And I saw this in the comments on yesterday's video. I wonder how responsible I am, Simon Dan, Craig, MC Toon, Sir Sick. I wonder what percent.
Ranty, you didn't get a mention, Ranty. You're a nobody. Even your own side couldn't give two shits about you. Where was Ranty on the list? Did you not like that little ass sniffer? Yeah? Ranty, you're a nobody. Just to be clear.
Percentage of the flat earthers that are on YouTube now is our fault. Have they seen other flat earthers doing reasonably well in terms of views and that kind of thing?
No, we covered this earlier. I get censored by decree of the American government. YouTube got told to censor me. And what they also got told specifically was to help out dick-shaped head men like you. They were told you are, quote, preferred content. So you get every leg up possible, you Welsh wanker. Me, I get censored by decree of the American government. Those are the facts in this matter. So what are you going to say? Oh, what is it these flat earthers struggling for? Yeah, we're censored. Those are the facts. You got put in my place when they took me out of the searches. You were my replacement. You should thank me.
And thought, I may as well give it a bash, innit? I don't mind if everybody thinks I'm an absolute spanner.
You are an absolute spanner. You addressed what Neil deGrasse Tyson thought about Earth curve rather than actually coming up with some sort of measurement of an Earth curve, perhaps. Maybe next time, you unbelievable spaz, you could actually offer an Earth curve measurement. Oh, when you do, get on your fucking knees and acknowledge the flat Earth surface level and parallel eye level you'll require. Do you hear me, you Welsh twat? get on your fucking knees and acknowledge just how flat Earth must be measured for your spaz Earth curve that you appealed to Tyson's feelings over. You appealed to his words in regards to when there's a calculator with the title Earth Curve. I can give you a rendition of how it works. It is alleged to be at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's measured height off a flat Earth. How do we know it's off a flat Earth? Well, we will be deriving a dip angle from the parallel eye level when we measure our height in feet off surface level, because we'll need it for the 1.22 times the square root of it when claiming the distance to a marked with an X labelled horizon Earth curve that this wanker, that's you, Creaky, the one propped up in my place, this wanker thought that Tyson's words were important in regards to. We all clear? You're a wanker, a spaz. You don't know how Earth curve should be in orthographic view below the surface level we measure. Earth's measured flat, you dick.
This year, maybe the start of the year, your Scottish pal, Pablo. I don't remember. Yeah, I think he was trying to get.
That was exactly what it was.
Yeah, I think he was trying his luck.
Exactly what it was with him.
You picked him up really early. He absolutely shit himself, and then
it's interesting
pivoted immediately
because he's still a channel member.
Yeah, he seemed like a nice guy.
He was. He was a nice enough guy.
What are they babbling about? Yo, dickheads! Earth's measured flat in your Earth curve maths. What Tyson had to say about it was irrelevant. Who gives a shit about your channel members?
And I would have had him on here for a chat, but he's disappeared. He hasn't commented for months. He hasn't done any, he was sending me emails. I think the way I just explained, the question I just asked.
Man, can you spit out an entire sentence once?
How responsible might I be? I think somebody like Pablo, he saw debunking videos, went looking at flat Earth videos, and thought, I could.
But is he about to divine the thoughts of another man?
I could play it as a flat earther quite easily.
Yeah, that's.
So you did. You just derived the thoughts. You got a crystal. Where did the crystal ball? Did anybody see the crystal ball come out? Are you really that stupid? I think that I'm just going to do it just the same, just by comparison, right? It's perfectly reasonable to just sit here. I think Creaky's currently thinking about. I think he's currently thinking about smearing himself in jam and running around and rolling on an anthill. I think that's what he's thinking about right now. I don't know why he'd be thinking about smearing himself in jam and rolling around on an anthill, but that's the kind of thing that I think he's thinking. Why? I've got a crystal ball somewhere. Perfectly reasonable that I just divine the thoughts of Creaky, who likes to smear himself in jam and then roll around on the nearest anthill. Because that's a perfectly reasonable thing that Creaky would be doing, in my opinion, when I derive the thoughts of him through my crystal ball that I ain't got.
That's what I think.
Quite easily.
That was our theory at the time as well.
Yeah, it badly backfired on him. He didn't expect anybody to make any content about him.
But if you are about Pablo, come and have a chat. I think it'd be fun.
Ooh, squeeze me. It would be.
Look some comments.
Yeah.
So this is an edited video, and you included the part where you belch down your own microphone, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, I occasionally have the same thing happen to me while we're live, but this is an edited video on your second channel.
Yeah, that went Jeranism, the flip-flop. Instead, say no, NASA is right.
Again, meaningless fluff. About the lowest hanging fruit you could pick out of this comment section. Who cares? NASA fluff. Okay, let's just reiterate the point that we would make. Earth's measured flat for everything, always, without exception. All measurements of Earth, including but not limited to globe believers' claims that they've got calculations of Earth curve, will require Earth be measured as a flat plane. There are no exceptions.
Yeah, what's your point? They're right about the shape of the Earth. It's a globe.
So that's blind belief.
Just a blind belief in a globe.
See, all that is you're a moron. Thicker than a bull's nose.
Really? That's it? Well, that's the response, is it? You're a moron. Okay? That's the lowest of standard that you can pull out of your arsenal, calling the person with their baseless assertion about Earth being flat or a globe a moron. And I'm more than happy to criticise that person's baseless assertion, because it's a baseless assertion. and a belief that's being expressed in your comment section. But you can't even deal with that. You can't even point out the flaw in their argument in this regard. That's to say it's a baseless assertion. There's nothing substantiating what they've said. And you can't even deal with it. You're calling them a moron in response.
And half as useful. None of them seem to have any self-awareness at all. I think sometimes, certainly people like Mikey Smith, I think Mikey is too stupid to realise how stupid he is.
I do think that is a big part of it sometimes. I think people are so wrapped up in so many layers of this stuff.
And then...
Oh, really? Okay, no worries. Right, I'm going to invite my commenters in this live stream right now to toddle along to Creaky and put something very specific to him in his comment section. He likes dealing with comments, likes dealing with these things head on, right? And he thinks that we're all stupid. Okay? So, Creaky, Earth's measured flat in your Earth curve maths. You were just dealing with a comment where you appealed to what Tyson thought about the matter. I'm putting it to you on camera, live. In your Earth curve maths, there's surface level, and it is required that you measure Earth flat for your height above it. You will be deriving the geometric physical sphere edge horizon known as Earth curve, marked with an X and labelled horizon in the begging the question. Proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve maths from parallel eye level. There is no way to bend a surface level that is measured for your height above it. Or to put it more succinctly, you measure Earth flat in your Earth curve maths you appeal to Tyson's feelings on. In your video that you edited and didn't edit out your belch from. So deal with that. You've got commenters coming to your channel to point this out to you. And I'm dealing with you head on. Not like some spaz who has to edit his videos after the fact because he can't help getting a full sentence out of his mouth. But someone who's appealing to you for the facts in this matter. That is that Earth is a flat plane measured at surface level for your height above it, to derive a physical geometric sphere edge at 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet off surface level. It's right there in your maths, just how Earth must be measured flat. And I want you, Creaky, you crackhead, to actually deal with it.
And they become involved in a community, and everybody likes, having somebody to have a chat with. And
I viewed it compared to a cult before, but there's so much pressure on people to continue in that belief once they're in the community. Like,
you're in an anti-flat Earth community, mate. So given that I'm pointing out that your community that believes you've got Earth curve requires Earth be measured flat for it, what are you going to do in response to me? You're going to relinquish your belief in standing on a spherical surface that in orbital motion is described from within a ball on a flat plane? What are you going to do? How are you going to address the surface level that is measured in Earth curve mass? You're going to tell me that, no, it's not surface level. Rock and hard place, mate. Either you relinquish your ball belief, or you acknowledge, has to say, get on your fucking knees and accept just how Earth must be measured flat at surface level for a parallel eye level to calculate how spherical you believe Earth could be to stand on it. That's what you'll do. Or you'll say it isn't flat, and I'll go, well, how are you going to measure your height parallel off surface level then? You won't. So you don't have any Earth curve to infer then? Either accept that you'll measure Earth flat to infer Earth curve, or accept that you haven't got any measurements, because the only measurements in Earth curve maths are flat. That's what you deal with your little globe cult that's indoctrinated you into telling an audience that they're retarded when they offer a baseless assertion for their belief in the subject matter. Offer false comparisons and straw men when asked about the false dichotomy of shape versus aspect. Now, so I can keep track of what Creaky's had to deal with and still deal with it in a summary without stuttering completely. Yeah, that's because this retard Creaky blinder, yeah? What's he actually got to offer? He's got an algorithm that favours him. So he's got this deluded view that he's actually popular, when every single directed view that's not coming my way telling people how Earth's measured flat in your own maths comes to him. So he can belch his way through an edited video. What clown.
That username is a perfect example. Jeranism the flip-flop. Well, because he observed something and now it goes...
What did he observe? The angle to the sun with respect to a plane he levelled his tools to? When he got his tool out to measure the sun's elevation angle over a prolonged period, he had to level his camera to a plane of reference. So, what are you going to do, guys? I'm asking. Not about the debate that doesn't exist, because I'm telling you Earth's flat with Jeran's own measurements that you're now appealing to. The elevation angle of the sun with respect to a plane of reference in Antarctica. Yet, when I pointed that out to Toon, do you know what he did? He screamed my fucking name into the snow. What are you bitches going to do? Jeran measured Earth flat with elevation angles in Antarctica, so did Toon. He tried to deflect with measurements! What is that? Are you going to scream the same as Toon did, you pair of bitches?
Goes against your narrative. You're flip.
So it goes against my narrative? No, it's conducive with it. Jeran's angle measurements to the sun, him levelling a tool to the plane of reference. No, they prove Earth's being measured flat, you pair of dickheads.
Flaw.
Yeah, exactly. But that's what all flat earthers are doing, and what I...
Really? It seems like I've proven you wrong. You've dedicated this to air and I haven't done that. What I've done is I've run a pair of idiots' noses over the whiff of a flat Earth that's being measured by their own example on multiple times. That's what I've actually done. Can you smell it, lads?
I called when we had the first meeting with Will, that if either of them come back and say, you know what, actually that did prove to me that I've been wrong for the last, especially a channel Jeran's size, because he was probably making a nice living by saying the Earth was flat.
That's why.
Yeah. If you say the Earth is a COVID-19 ridden 9/11 hunting down no forest on fat Earth conspiracy, then yeah, your channel can do all right. Meanwhile, if you say Earth is flat because it's measured that way with, I don't know, let's say your height off surface level in Earth curve maths. Let's say I present that Earth is flat with Euro mathematics. I think I'd be censored right to the bottom of the list and removed at the decree of the US government. It's not like this is a secret. Who should be replacing me? Oh, this twat who can't string an entire sentence together. That's who, because he's preferred content. Why? Because he says Earth's a ball. It doesn't matter that he can't actually string a coherent sentence or offer any standard of evidence to suggest why that would be the case. That doesn't matter. He says Earth's a ball and that flat earthers are idiots. Therefore, preferred content.
I think it's so commendable that he publicly, I know he's still saying some reckless stuff publicly, but
yeah,
like you said, he was probably making a bit of money.
Yeah.
Saying the Earth was
I bet
flat.
he was making more than me, and considerably more as well.
Yeah, I would say so.
But it's like everything they say is just something I have made a video about, and whatever point they're making, like that.
He's made that as a claim. Perfect. Oh, I could kiss you. So everything. Oh, well, that would include this now then, wouldn't it? So we can call you a liar should you not address the flat Earth surface level in Earth curve maths. You brushed over it as though Neil deGrasse Tyson's words on the matter are important when he slaps a beach ball and says that stuff is flat. Meanwhile, I point out, yeah, it's absolutely flat. It's in the measurement, surface level. It can't be curving. You've got to have a parallel eye level with it. That's your height being measured off it. You understand these principles of Earth being measured, right? That's what's just happened. Earth was measured flat. To assert that you've got Earth curve. First, you're going to get on your fucking knees, though, lads, because you've addressed everything, right? So you're going to get on your knees, acknowledge just how fucking flat Earth must be, to measure your height off surface level to give you your height at 1.22 times the square root of it. That's a measurement off a surface level in Earth curve maths. So what's it to be, lads? Because apparently you've dealt with everything, including this, yeah? Would it be the case that I have to be censored so that you can just put your heads in the sand and pretend I haven't said it? And just tell your audience, like the lying shitbags that you are, that you've dealt with everything? Have you really dealt with the flat Earth in your Earth curve maths? Because you thought it was pertinent to point out what Tyson said. Ignore that he said it was flat and dig out a different clip where he said it isn't. Yeah, call this preferred content. I'm sure you're struggling to make a living. Yeah, me too. I have to go out and sell microphones because of how heavy the censorship is on me. You don't have any censorship and you're still struggling. Wow, you must be a real fucking retard to struggle in the face of being promoted as preferred content. Hello?
Just say NASA's right is blind belief. How is...
It's a sentence fragment and a stutter in his edited video. Go ahead, Chocolate.
No, I was just going to say real quick, though, if anything, he, basically without us even trying, he's shown his own side double speaking. So he's talking about how Neil deGrasse says it's not. It's this stuff is flat. It's not curved. And then he plays another clip where he says it is curved. So that just sounds like you have a problem in your own paradigm, buddy.
Yeah, I want to get that squared away. He's sorted everything. He's dealt with everything. Right? Literally everything. Okay. Hundreds of times. So hundreds of times you've explained that Earth is not flat at surface level in your maths. Maybe you can square that for me. I'll make it absolutely clear. I'll go on camera so I can make it more concise what I'm asking. Are you saying Earth is not flat at surface level in your Earth curve maths? Because I'm a bit confused. Because if Earth's not flat when measuring it such for Earth curve assertions, then you haven't got any measurements to assert that you've got Earth curve at all. That marked with an X labelled horizon Earth curve isn't capable of being asserted to be there below the surface level. If surface level isn't flat, so maybe you could clarify this specifically, given that you've obviously dealt with it hundreds of times, right? Is Earth not flat at surface level in Earth curve maths? Because I'm pretty confused about that there, Creaky. You fucking crackhead.
Is it? How is it blind belief? It's accepting peer-reviewed science.
Again, edited video.
Yeah, but they're comparing it to.
They're comparing it to. Yes. Are they comparing it to surface level? Because I'm confused. I just need clarity from you two. You've explained it hundreds of times. Is it surface level flat or is it not flat? Fucking up every part of your Earth curve assertion. I just need to know, is it the rock or the hard place? Are you going to be getting on your fucking knees and acknowledging just how Earth is flat at surface level when you measure your height above it for your 1.22 times the square root of your observer's height in feet off surface level, like it's marked in your maths? Surface level. Is that not flat, you pair of fucking retards? Because apparently you've dealt with this, quote, hundreds of times. Right, spastics? Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're going to be getting on your fucking knees and acknowledging just how flat Earth must be for your spastic Earth curve maths that your cult tells you to believe in. Are we tracking, you pair of dickheads?
Listening to some dumbass on the internet.
What? A dumbass asking for clarification about how flat Earth must be for your Earth curve maths? You were talking about how Tyson's words mattered on the matter. Then I got confused. Because apparently Tyson said, Earth not flat at surface level in Earth curve maths. Was that what he was saying? I don't know. I'd need you to interpret this, given that you've explained everything hundreds of times. I'd like to know how not flat surface level in Earth curve maths is, because that kind of fucks up your idea of measuring a surface level that is flat to derive heights of eye above it, to infer that you've got a marked with an X labelled horizon below surface level Earth curve point at tangency. You know, that'll fuck that up if you say that Earth isn't flat. How are you going to measure surface level, lads? Obviously, given that you're the ones that are all knowing and have explained this hundreds of times, that's why me, a flat earther who you've dealt with hundreds of times in this regard, is asking you just to explain again. Or point me in the direction of one of those videos that you covered it hundreds of times. Now, I'm just going to point this out, right? Because something that does actually happen hundreds of times is me telling McToon that Earth is measured flat in his 10K challenge with elevation angles. I told him for the literal 100th time when he proactively contacted me from Antarctica, allegedly. So from allegedly Antarctica, that man called me and I told him literally for the 100th time he measured Earth flat. And his response was to say, quote, he tried to deflect with measurements. Yeah, hundreds of times. Now, this shit-for-brains Welshman is just lying. He hasn't dealt with everything hundreds of times. But I have. I've pointed it out to McToon when he was, quote, down? What, south? That doesn't look very down, that's south. Maybe if I get a compass and lay it flat on a map, south will be down then. Nevertheless, Toon got told literally the 100th time, I counted them, that he measured Earth flat in Antarctica. Obviously, you two crackheads have dealt with this hundreds of times, so you can just do it 101, just for me. Anything anyone wants to add before we round out this live show? Oh, well, I'm glad you're all paying close attention.
Yeah, you did a good enough job. What else is there to say?
Nothing. Who was it again we covered? Creaky. No, at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me with a polite comment that doesn't immediately get removed by the YouTube algorithmic bots or the videographer themselves in that case. Creaky blinder, so please let him know. At Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me pop a polite comment. Hopefully it'll help him along in the YouTube algorithm. It is a genuinely newish channel. It's got about 7,500 subs. So in all sincerity, I do have a YouTube hat and wish Creaky Blinder every success in that regard. So with a YouTube hat, hopefully he'll do the same for me and put a comment to Nathan Oakley 1980's video when he gives us the 101 rendition of an explanation about how Earth isn't flat at surface level in Earth curve maths. I'm a bit confused. I'm sure they'll explain that for the 101st time. Like Toon, who ranted my name into the Antarctic snow, and I literally did point that out for the 100th time to him. But if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, unfortunately, this is where we bid you farewell. So stay tuned if you are watching on an after show. Na, 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 na.
Cheers for that, Nathan. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
I only generally intend to have the show running for a maximum of an hour because now I'm all sweaty because it's just, I don't know, what is the temperature? 24 degrees. Well, it's not actually that hot comparatively to places in the States, I'm sure, right now, but it's hot. And with a projector running, computer running, all these monitors running, all these amps running, it's boiling in here. So doing the show for an extra hour probably wasn't a good idea because I'm now sweating like a little piggy.
Bloody hell, where did everybody go?
Where did everybody go?
I
don't know. There was only you three in here to begin with, wasn't there? The only other person in there was Adam.
don't know. I decided to go and do some work and come back, and there was no sound.
Oh, that was just because I was rounding out.
Okay. It does get a bit warm in your flat, doesn't it? All that soundproofing in the front room doesn't do it help, does it? Keeps on the heating.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's literal insulation, so it does insulate the heat as well, unfortunately. But I'll give it another couple of minutes, and then I'll probably turn off the projector and just go onto one screen for the after show.
There was a little bit of a video with Creaky where he mentioned you, which I didn't hear in that review. I don't know if he just mixed over it. I think it was when he was going on about how bloody Jeranism was making more money than him. I think you were brought up a little bit after that. It was there's something though.
I think Nathan's melted onto the floor.
I am still here. I'm just doing something else temporarily. Just pressing buttons for a minute. Just talking with yourselves, hopefully.
Have you had a good day?
Say again?
Yes, I've had a lovely day. We're just trying to drive a bit of conversation, asking how everyone's day has been.
Yeah, all good, all good. Oh, hang on, Marcus.
I'm currently working on a new client's grounds that I've just taken on. It's a massive house with 8 acres of garden. And when I first got here, there was a lot of commotion up near the pond. And there was this massive crow attacking a heron and chased it off. And half an hour Later, the heron came back and the crow absolutely went for it. It was quite entertaining.
Okay, well, I might have to round out because nobody's talking and I can't just leave something there and I've got too much stuff to do. So, with that, another huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G+ panels for making today's after show possible. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of you for liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.